My company, we've been using processes and we have systems in place for a while now. So everyone's on board and we understand the importance of it. My question is, how do you, okay, first let me say my goal right now is to simplify our processes. They're still pretty just clunky. So right now we've used Trainual, but we moved everything back into Google. I love systemHUB because it's just simple. How do you, what does the pre-extraction process look like for systems that are already extracted or documented, if that makes sense?
So if you, Dave, I can see you want to jump in here.
I do, I do. I would put that into the class of re-engineering. We'll talk a bit about that in the optimize stage, because you want to start to reimagine at that point in time. The whole point initially is to say you'll get tremendous wins just by making things repeatable, and you don't need to have world class to start with, just getting everybody following a process. And that's why we get something down and we don't worry about over engineering. But once you've got something down and it's been followed, there's been so many advances in AI, new software, different ways of doing things that you then want to re-engineer. So the process, and you'll bring in a few stakeholders. We'll talk about how to do that. But you basically want to map what the new journey will look like. And it's a little bit like crafting a overview system, in that in the early days you haven't yet documented it. So you have to talk a little bit more theoretically. And you also typically want to have it happening external of the current system that's running. So you let the current system run and the team works on that. You do the re-engineering over here. And then once you're happy with the re-engineering, then you want to swap it in and swap out the old one. And then you keep an eye and you watch closely. But we will go into that in more detail. I don't know if that was helpful.
Yeah. So do you do that department by department?
It's a little bit like, it's always the same thinking around prioritization. You can go department by department, depends on the size of the organization and how many people you have on the systems team, how much you can take on at any point in time. But you still want to work in terms of sprints, and you're identifying the things that are going to have the biggest impact. So you would go, oh, this particular task is happening every single week and it takes 5 hours, and I know it's slow and it's clunky and it's chewing up a very valuable team member's time. I know that by re-engineering, I can get a win and cut it down to a fifth of the time, and it's happening every single week. So I'm saving 4 hours every week, and then we multiply that out across the month, and we've got 16 hours that we're saving. So that's part of this prioritization on what is going to have biggest impact on the business. And depending on how competent your team is and comfortable. But I think this is an important topic, as I said, especially with everything that's happening with AI. You really want to be thinking about particularly what are the repetitive tasks where AI can step in and save you tremendous amount of admin time.
Just a heads up, that clip was taken from a session in our Systems Champions Certification Program, which is the world's first and only program for systems champions to help you build a systems culture and develop an AI first approach and roll it out inside your organization. To find out more, head over to systemology.com/systems champ, and I'll see you in there.